So for time's sakes, I'm just going to make this, I will put my name here. And I'm just going to put if, then, and else. So we'll do all that other stuff, plus we'll do integer division. So we need to put our includes. And we'll do include string, because I'm going to show you what I was talking about with the two upper in getting first name and last name. And we'll do IO manip. And using namespace. Starting our main function. And system, spelling counts. And I will show you, not this week, but next week, how to make a custom system pause instead of having it say, press any key to continue. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to input and create a grading program. But let me start off with the syntax of if, then, and else. So I want to say if the temperature is greater, actually, you know what? Let's just do the odd even. We want to determine if it's odd or even. So we need to do a integer and a number. And then we'll do cout. Enter a number. In number. And then we're going to do an if statement. So we'd start off with if, and then parentheses, and we want to do a modulus. So we're going to do number by 2. And I'm not going to put in the brackets on this one. So let's just put in cout number is even. And I think I actually have a mistake there. So let me go back and fix that. Else cout number is odd. So here is an error. So what I need to do is, because we're doing a calculation, the parentheses is for the if. It won't allow you to do it. So if num divided by 2 equals 0, and so the calculation here, and this just makes it more readable. Now, if I were to put this without it, it would compile, but the problem is num divided by 2 would, let's just say it was 5, num divided by 2 here would be 1, and then it would assign it as 0. So you'll just have to take my word on it. So now notice we have an issue here because it's telling us numbers even, and then it's going to tell us numbers odd. So then I'll show you how to fix that. No, that's used as modulus. That's like remainder. Remember the old remainder thing? So if you do 10 modulus 3, so it that goes, it's like saying 10 goes into, 3 goes into 10 3 times with a remainder of 1. That's what the modulus is. The division is just a slash. So I'm going to enter a number 5. Well, let's do 4 because it's even. So number is even, number is odd. So we have an issue because it can't be both even and odd. So what we'll do here is we'll put else, and then number is odd. So let's try it now and see what happens. Right now we don't have any brackets in here. So let's run it and see what happens. And we'll do it twice. So the first time is 4. Number is even. Press any key. And now let's do 5. Number is odd. Because this is going to be. So now let's see what happens here. And I'm going to hit the tab key here to get this lined up. Now I'm going to put C out. Number is number. And let's see what happens when we do this. And I'm going to put instead of doing an end L, because this is text, I'm going to do a backslash and an end. And that will be the same thing as a new line. Just a little bit less typing in there. So let's see what happens now. Let's type in 77. Oh, there's build errors. All right. Let's see, what did we get in here? Okay, so here is an issue with it. So we don't want to, all right, let's just say it's going to, yeah, because it's not going to be able to assign it to a calculation. So we'll have to do this in another time. And I'll show you in another one. Yeah, I forgot you can't actually do it in a, you know what? We'll do one that says if number is 5 in there, and then we'll say number is 5, otherwise it's not 5. So let's go and run this here and make sure it works. And yes, number is odd. All right, so let's do this now. Let's do the same thing in here. I'm just going to copy this in here. And the equal sign means in an if statement, it's saying is it, just think of it as is equal to, would probably be the best answer. So let's check if number equals 0, number is 0, else not 0. So what we're going to do is we're going to put in 5. Now, if I don't want to go through this here, I can comment it out. But because it's just one input, I'm not going to. So let's put in 5 and see what happens. So there you go. So notice it changed it to 0 in here. And there is no, it's not right. See, notice that it gave you this red, this green squiggly line. So let's change this to this. And boom. And now let's run it and see what happens. So we'll do 5 and boom. Number is odd, number is not 0, and we're good to go. So be very, very, very careful with that. So now let's do something. We're doing a grading program. So let's do and put an integer and grade, and we'll set that as 0. Comment this out because we really don't need it, and enter a grade, and we'll enter grade here. So we want to start with the highest grade first. So we're going to do 90 to 100 is an A. Then 80 to 89 is a B, and so on. So what we need to do, the first thing we should do is check if grade is greater than 100. And let's put or, and that's grade is less than 0. And I'm going to put this in here. And we'll do C out. I know I can do this. Valid. Okay, I know I can type. Valid grades are between 0 and 100. Now, normally what you would do in this, you would put it inside a while loop using a Boolean to make sure that you keep inputting it. Here we're just going to exit the program. And then we're going to do else. You know what? I'm going to skip that for right now, and we'll just comment that out and leave it as it's in here. So let's click on Control F5, and there's errors. Thank you very much. What did I do wrong? So we're missing something. We're missing a right parentheses. All right, we can do that one more time. Try this again. So enter grade. So let's type in 101. You always want to check for invalid entries first. So that valid grades are there pressed in between 0 and 100. Okay. So let's try it now again. Enter grade, and we'll do -5. Okay, again, so that works. Now we'll do a valid grade, and we'll just say 99, and notice that worked. So that's good. So that works there. So now let's start our grades in here. But before we do this, I want to show you something that you want to take advantage of, and that's using constants. Never use something literal if you can get away with it. Meaning, if you can use a constant. So let's put in a integer, a constant integer.
Do curly brackets ever get like semicolons? I don't know.
Do the curly yes, they do when you're doing do while loops in there. But yeah, it's very rare that they do. So we're going to do a constant integer, and we're going to do lowest grade equals 0. And highest grade equals 100. So now we're going to change this to highest grade and lowest grade. And we'll do it again. Then we'll make one more change. And I'll show you the advantage of it. So let's just put enter a grade. You know what? Let me do something different. Let's put enter a grade between lowest grade space and another space. So hopefully you're starting to see how valuable these are. So if I made the lowest grade 10, if I just put in 10 and 100, I would have to change this and this. Whereas I would only have to change this in here to make it. So let's go and run this now and see what that looks like. So enter a grade between 0 and 100. And we'll do 99, and boom. So we need a cosmetic in here. Where is the... So to get the spacing up. So now we can do valid grades are between so let's go and get it. All right, so what? Oh, I'm missing this here. It's so mean that it didn't put it in for me. So notice now, if I wanted to change either the lowest grade or highest grade, I don't only have to change it here. If I put in 0 and 100, I'd have to change it here, and change it there. So let's test this now. And we'll do, notice in here, so let's put in 6, 7, 8. And grades are between 0 and 100. Press any key to continue. So it's a little bit of cosmetic here. So now hopefully you're getting the understanding about how valuable these are, that the constants are. Save you a lot of things. So let's go in and create a grading program. So now we're going to start off with if, and I'm going to do it wrong the first way, and then I'm going to change it and show you. So if grade in this particular case, we're just going to start with this. If grade is greater than 89, then see out. And we're doing this one step at a time. And test it. Grade is an A. Okay, now this is the wrong way to do it. So if grade is greater than 79. Now, here, we don't have to check anything else. So, remember what we said? If the grade is between 90 and 100, we're good to go. So, we don't have to put if the grade is greater than 89, or I could do, if you want to make it look a little bit more readable, greater than or equal to 90, we don't ever have to check to see if it's greater than and less than 100 or less than or equal, because we're doing a data validation here. If we didn't do that, we would have to do or actually, I'm sorry, it should have to be and I know this is confusing, so don't get alarmed, because it takes a while till you get comfortable with it, and I don't remember who said it, but it just takes practice. And grade less than or equal to 100. How you do it is kind of up to you. So we have a error for some reason. So let's see what we have. That's an error because we're in an if statement without parentheses in here. So we don't need this, because if we're checking to see if it's less than 100, it can never, we don't really need to worry about if it's less than 100. So here we can get rid of this. Now likewise, if we have a grade, let's just do this, greater than or equal to 80. So 80, between 80 and 89 is going to be a B. We don't have to check to see if it's in there, because if we're doing this first, we don't have to worry about it ever, because it's going to get the if statement here. And then we'll do C out grade is a B. So this is really the wrong way. I'm going to tell you why, even though it works. Because now we're checking to see if it's 90, and if this is true, we're still going to check to see if it's greater than 80, greater than 70, greater than 60. We don't need to check all that stuff in here. So what we'll do here, instead of this, we'll do else if. So if this is greater than 90, we're not going to ever execute this in here. So, again, it gets a little confusing, so don't worry about it. Look at the examples in the book. There's tons of stuff, and we can go over this again on Friday. So now we're going to do else if grade is greater than or equal to 70. See out. Grade is a C. Else if grade is greater than equal. And I'm going to show you an issue with not using brackets.
Is there like a limitation for else if?
Let me type this up and then I'll answer your question.
Okay.
I have a hard enough time spelling stuff when I'm actually concentrating. Graders, graders in here. So greater than 60. See out. Grade is a D. Else grade is an F. See out. You failed. So here you're going to see there's going to be a problem because we're going to, no matter what the grade is, it's going to print you failed because we're not in brackets in here. So let's run this program, and the guy gets a 90 and he's still going to fail. He gets a, we'll give him 100. He's a superhero. Grade is an A, you failed. So what we want to do here is put in and notice how it all gets looped together here. Now, one thing I need to mention, I started from the top and went down, because if I would have started with if grade is less than 60 or greater than whatever it is, and between that, you would it would just cause all kinds of problems. So start with the very, very, very top and work your way down. And I recommend that you do brackets whenever possible in here. So what I'm going to do here now is I'm going to copy this. And I'm going to put in. So this lets me know. So if something happens and there's a bracket where I'm going to find it. Now, remember, with the if, there is no opening and closing bracket. It's between all of these. So if I were to put in an opening bracket here, I would need to put it in here. So take a look at this and tell me. Now, I recommend doing that. Now I'm going to show you a way that you don't have to type in grade is, grade is, grade is, grade is, grade is in there. So take a look at it and see if there's anything that is totally confusing to you. Because I know it's getting we're getting into heavy duty stuff in there. So if you do, let me know, and boom.